Cowboys add beef to interior of defensive line before returning from Oxnard. Since the embarrassing loss to the Green Bay Packers, all we have heard from Cowboys Nation is how the Dallas Cowboys can't stop the run. Aaron Jones and the Packers ran through the Cowboys' defense like a hot knife through butter back in January. The Cowboys' actions this offseason have not done much to convince the fanbase they are willing to fix it. Their solution to fix the rush defense was to draft a 7th-round player from Auburn and refuse to sign Jonathan Hankins back to the team. Sprinkle in some undrafted free agents, and their efforts were complete. Just last week, they signed Jordan Phillips, but he surprised us by revealing that he was not signed to play the 1-tech position along the defensive line. Instead, he provides mass to the 3-tech position behind Osa Odigizua. At the conclusion of camp in Oxnard, California, the Dallas Cowboys announced the signing of another defensive tackle, Linval Joseph. He is a familiar face to DC Mike Zimmer, and will certainly come in specifically to play the 1-tech position. For Linval Joseph, this means he will come back to an NFL team for a 15th season. He was drafted by the New York Giants in the 2010 NFL Draft from East Carolina University. After leaving the Giants at the expiration of his rookie contract, Joseph found a home in Minnesota under current Cowboys DC Mike Zimmer. In 6 seasons, the behemoth defensive tackle accumulated 32 tackles for loss, 51 quarterback hits, and 15.0 sacks. He also earned the only 2 Pro Bowl nods of his career during his time in Minnesota, 2016-2017. Joseph would then spend a couple of years as a member of the Los Angeles Chargers. Coming to Dallas means Linval Joseph will play for his 3rd NFC East team in his career. He was drafted by the Giants and won a Super Bowl there. After his stint in Los Angeles, he also spent 1 season with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he started 8 games. Joseph won't be expected to return to Pro Bowl form, but the Cowboys hope he has enough left in the tank to make a difference in limited snaps. In short, it means they got bigger. Size at the defensive tackle position has been lacking for the Cowboys for several years. Last season, they addressed it by drafting Motzi Smith in the 1st round. Smith has yet to produce as a 1st-round pick should, but he has shown development throughout training camp while still recovering from off-season shoulder surgery. Joseph can be a valuable veteran presence to help the young player improve. In an article published Tuesday, I talked about free agents the Cowboys could add, and Linval Joseph was at the top of my list. Not necessarily to come in and be the starter, but because he knows Zimmer's system at the position better than anyone else out there. The purpose of the signing is to provide size and depth at a needed spot on the defense, but it is more about helping the young Motzi Smith develop into what the Cowboys hoped he could be when they decided to draft him. It is similar to how Eric Kendricks was brought in as a veteran presence in the linebacker room. Kendricks has helped speed up the development of young players like Damone Clark, DeMarvion Overshown, and Marist Liufau. Both Linval Joseph and Jordan Phillips are around 330 pounds each at their playing weight. The Cowboys haven't had that type of size in the middle of their defense for as long as I can remember. I'm excited to see how they can help improve the defensive line with their size and veteran savvy, and you should be excited, too. Mario Herrera Jr. is a husband, a father of 3, and he has been a Dallas Cowboys fan since 1991. He's a stats guy, although stats don't always tell the whole story. Writing about the Dallas Cowboys is his passion. Dak Prescott apologist. Cowboy Roundup, by Cowboys Championship Belt, can defense be top 10? Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Training camp in Oxnard is over, and the Dallas Cowboys are making their way back to Texas for the NFL preseason finale against the Los Angeles Chargers. It's been an enjoyable camp and preseason so far, but this weekend will be the most crucial for a number of players on the roster. Plenty of players will be fighting for their roster spots, so while the starters may be sidelined and the quality of play may take a step back, it is still going to be fun to watch as we whittle down to the final 53-man roster. While we wait for the weekend to come, let's take a look at some headlines from around Cowboys Nation that we may have missed. Can Cowboys have a top 10 defense? Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have a new defensive coordinator in Mike Zimmer, and his scheme has players and fans excited. We've seen what the unit is capable of in camp and the preseason, but will it be sustainable throughout the regular season? The depth is the biggest game changer in my eyes, especially at the second level with the additions of Eric Kendricks and Marist Liufau, as well as getting DeMarvion Overshown back from injury, Nick Harris wrote. I think the exclamation point was adding veteran defensive line presences in Carl Lawson and Jordan Phillips after identifying and quickly moving on a depth issue up front. Lastly, the secondary will prove to be another top unit in the league once again if it can stay healthy over the duration of the season. Cowboys quick hits. For Cowboys players who need a strong performance in preseason finale. Fight at Cowboys final training camp practice breaks out. Tyler Guyton has injury scare in final Cowboys training camp practice. Mike McCarthy plans to get returning Cowboys star more action before Week 1. Cowboys offense snubbed in nonsensical rankings ahead of NFL season. Cowboys Super Bowl era winning percentage adds more pain to postseason failure. Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster prediction, running back. Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster prediction, wide receiver. Cowboys Jerry Jones sends direct message about Trey Lance's future. Jerry Jones wants to see more out of Trey Lance, but his spot on the Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster is guaranteed. While speaking to reporters on Tuesday, August 20th, the Cowboys team owner said that he wants to see more out of the former number 3 overall draft pick, but also mentioned that he'll be on the roster when the regular season begins. Via Nick Harris of the Cowboys official website. I'd like to see us really be able to have our quarterback depth, Jones said, via Nick Harris of the team website. I'd like to see him get some more work in this weekend, that would be number 1. Do I need to see any more from Trey Lance? The answer is yes, but he's going to be on the 53. Trey Lance has seen majority of playing time during preseason. The 24-year-old Lance was acquired prior to the end of last season's preseason from the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a 4th-round draft pick. Although Lance didn't appear in a single game during his first season in Dallas, the team obviously has high hopes for him. The Cowboys gave up a 4th-round draft pick for him, and if Dak Prescott does leave in free agency next offseason, Lance could have a crack at the starting job. Lance has received the majority of playing time during the Cowboys' first 2 preseason games, with Dak Prescott not seeing any action and Cooper Rush throwing just 6 pass attempts. The 6'4" quarterback has gone 44-64 for 339 yards, 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions with 78 yards and a rushing touchdown. He's currently competing with Rush, who has served as the primary backup quarterback in recent seasons, for the number 2 quarterback job behind Prescott. With the Cowboys' preseason finale on the horizon against the Los Angeles Chargers this week, it's very possible that Lance not only starts, but plays the entirety of the game. Mike McCarthy compliments Trey Lance for effort during Raiders game. Head coach Mike McCarthy complimented Lance for his most recent efforts in a 27-12 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Lance led a 13-play, 88-yard drive on Dallas' last possession of the game, concluding with a 2-yard rushing touchdown. He finished the game with a 98.1 passer rating after throwing for 151 passing yards and a touchdown with 0 interceptions. That was a clear improvement over the preseason opener when Lance threw for 188 passing yards with no touchdowns and a 72.0 passer rating. I thought we improved today starting with Trey, McCarthy told reporters after the game. The 3rd down conversions, we missed a couple there. But 2 14-play drives, that's incredible for preseason football. It just shows you his understanding and confidence, and he just needs to continue to play. He needs reps, he needs to play in live games, particularly in the drop-back phase, because he's doing a very good job managing everything else. So I thought he clearly took a step today. While Lance may still be competing for the number 2 job, one thing is for certain, his roster spot is locked in entering the 2024 season.